50 Cent survived an amount of danger that many can't even imagine in the south side of Queens. To rise above it and become a multi-millionaire in music and the media mogul that he is today, including 9 bullets that could have wiped out his life before even meeting his mentors Eminem or Dr. Dre. But one thing that life-threatening situations in the streets didn't do was make him afraid of engaging in beef and calling out well-known celebrities by name. In many cases, it seems like 50 is just trolling people to bring attention to himself or whatever lucrative business he's involved in at the time, whether it was albums in the 2000s, television series like Power in the 2010s, or liquor. But before all eyes were on 50 Cent because of his reputation for stirring up controversy, 50 pushed the envelope the best way he knew as a rising rapper, calling out people in his music. 2 early 50 Cent songs may have caused him the most trouble and also got his name hot in the streets. The pre-Shady Records tracks How to Rob and Ghetto Quran. Back in 1999, 50 Cent had secured a record deal with Columbia and was gearing up to drop his debut album, Power of the Dollar. But it got stuck in limbo with the label refusing to give it a release date. Instead of giving up, 50 came up with a way to grab some instant interest and expand his buzz right away. He created the song How to Rob, where he boldly rapped about what would happen if he robbed the biggest rappers in the game. But there was a catch. These weren't some subliminal message that only superfans would be able to decode. 50 was actually naming his imagined victims like Diddy, Will Smith, Mace, Lil Kim, Busta Rhymes, Missy Elliott, and Big Pun, and members of Wu-Tang Clan. Even though the tone was playful enough that it seemed like it was all meant to be a joke, he provoked negative backlash from Jay-Z, Fat Joe, Raekwon, and Ghostface Killah. Then there was 50 Cent's Ghetto Quran, also from his unreleased album Power of the Dollar, that leaked in 2000. This song stirred up trouble for 50 because his rhymes were calling out some of the biggest drug dealers in 50 Cent's notorious neighborhood of South Jamaica, Queens. Alleged drug lord Kenneth McGriff was mentioned in the song Ghetto Quran and was said to have allegedly attempted to get 50 and the song blacklisted from the music industry. This didn't stop the late Run DMC member DJ Jam Master Jay from ignoring the warnings and worked to get 50 Cent's music noticed. Those previous same 9 shots that practically took 50 Cent's life were rumored to have been sent because of 50 talking about Kenneth McGriff's street crew, the Supreme Team, in the song. Ghetto Quran eventually was released on 50's 2002 mixtape, Guess Who's Back. Whether you consider back and forth comments on social media between 50 and Madonna to be, quote, beef, or your definition of beef is it has to lead to threats of violence like 50 and Ja Rule, is purely your own personal opinion. But in a world where everything a superstar says or does becomes instant fuel for the never-ending online news cycle, 50 may very well be the most confrontational rapper in the history of hip-hop. And these are just 15 of the many beefs 50 has been engaged in during his wild run in the entertainment industry. Maybe the most memorable beef of 50 Cent's storied career involves the drama that he had with fellow Queens rapper Ja Rule, that took place both on and off record. Their still unresolved problem began in 1999 with 50 Cent claiming that his friend allegedly robbed Ja Rule for a chain. After a guy named Brown was able to get Ja his chain back, apparently Ja Rule ran into 50 at a nightclub, and 50 happened to be with the same guy who robbed Ja Rule. But Ja Rule has denied that he was robbed, and Ja's Murder Inc. label mate Black Child apparently stabbed 50 in the back. Murder Inc. CEOs Chris and Irv Gotti originally got charged for the stabbing. During a 2014 Hot 97 interview, Ja Rule publicly claimed that he and his crew beat up 50 and his associates with a baseball bat outside of a club. It even got to the point that Violator Management, the company that managed 50 Cent, also had their offices shot up in January of 2003, rumored to be retaliation against 50. This is just some of the 50 versus Ja conflict that happened outside of their recording studios. Then there was a whole barrage of songs that the two enemies launched against each other. Back in '99, 50 released this song called Life's on the Line, calling out both Ja Rule and his record label Murder Inc. Ja Rule took verbal shots at 50 Cent with songs like Loose Change and Race Against Time. 50 Cent took aim at Ja's career with Back Down and Wanksta. Ironically, the same melodic, sing-songy flow that made Ja Rule famous, and he was criticized for by 50 Cent, would later lead to catchy hits for not just modern artists like Drake, but also 50 himself. Also, during the 2014 Hot 97 Summer Jam concert, 50 Cent proved that he didn't just have beef with rappers and drug dealers. He had issues with people in the world of the fashion business, particularly clothing designer Winsor Slowbucks Lubin. When Slowbucks attended Summer Jam and went backstage during a reunion performance with 50 and his former G-Unit members, Slowbucks got attacked, allegedly by some of 50 Cent's bodyguards. The assault left Slowbucks bruised up and missing his gold chain. What was the reason for the beating? Apparently, it had to do with Slowbucks previously posting a picture standing next to 50 Cent's estranged son, Marquise Jackson, on Instagram and flipping the middle finger to the camera. This series of events led to 50 calling Slowbucks a quote snitch, and Slowbucks calling 50 Cent 5-0, as in police informant. 50 Cent and his oldest son, Marquise Jackson, used to be close. Their relationship changed in 2008 when Marquise's mom, Shaniqua Tompkins, accused the rapper of trying to kill them in a house fire, which occurred soon after they got into a dispute over a lawsuit. Marquise was 10 years old at the time. Tompkins told the New York Post, "Who do I think did it? Curtis Jackson," she claimed. "He threatened me on Monday that he was going to have someone visit me. My kids are in the house. Who would try to kill your own kids?" 50 Cent was filming a movie during the incident, but Tompkins took out a temporary restraining order, which meant 50 couldn't see Marquise. He lamented the estrangement to MTV News, explaining, "My relationship with my son is changing because he and his mom aren't friends anymore." Ever since 50 and Shaniqua Tompkins, the mother of his son, Marquise, separated back in 2008, things have been sour between the two. In September of 2016, she posted a photo of 50 Cent's son, Marquise. The young man and his mother, 50's ex-girlfriend Shaniqua, have been two people that have been pushed out of 50 Cent's life, having no shame about making fun of them on social media. In May of 2020, 50 Cent explained the complicated situation to XXL by saying that he used to love his son, but finds it hard to trust him, especially with Marquise having had associations with 50's enemies, like being a fan of Ja Rule. "I blamed it on Marquise's mom for a long time, but it's not his mother, it's him. How long can you love somebody that don't love you back? My grandfather would say, if it rattle like a snake, if it slither like a snake, is it a snake or do you need to be bit?" 50 has also had multiple beefs with record executives as well. Back in September of 2006, 50 Cent released a mixtape with DJ Who Kid that was titled Hip Hop Is Dead. On this project, 50 Cent openly accused P. Diddy of having something to do with the death of the late Notorious B.I.G. on the song Hip Hop, where 50 Cent raps, "Man, Puffy know who hit that, man. That dude's soft, he scared them boys from the west side gon' break him off." 50 even went as far as to launch an online petition in June of 2010, urging Diddy to put an end to exploiting Big's death for profitable gain. Even though Diddy has said that he has no problem with 50, that didn't stop 50 from coming for Diddy. In June of 2016, 50 hopped on Instagram to criticize rappers that have been signed to Diddy's Bad Boy Entertainment, like Loon, Mace, G-Dep, Shine, and the Notorious B.I.G. for, quote, dancing with the devil, whom he claimed was Diddy himself. Speaking of record executives, another one that 50 went at was Nas's ex-manager, Steve Stoute. When Stoute was involved in an interview with Hot 97 in 2014, for some reason he found it necessary to say that he didn't believe that 50 Cent was influential anymore because the rapper hadn't dropped a big single in a long time. This obviously didn't sit well with 50 Cent or his fans. Later, when Steve Stoute was courtside at New York's Madison Square Garden, a photo was taken of him with 50 infamously pointing his finger at Stoute, which went viral on social media. This verbal confrontation was explained by 50 Cent as Stoute having to get verbally checked for, quote, bumping his gums. Another music executive that 50 arguably had his most dangerous conflict with was none other than Jimmy Henchmen, who happened to be the manager of 50 Cent's ex-artist, The Game, who 50 was now feuding with. During 50 Cent's long-term conflict with Jimmy Henchmen, 50 referred to Henchmen as a, quote, rat, who since 2013 has been serving life in prison plus 20 years for his role in conducting a drug trafficking ring. 1 year before being sentenced, Henchmen was charged with a murder-for-hire plot against Lodi Mack, one of 50 Cent's G-Unit affiliates who was killed in 2009 after the 2000 assault of Jimmy Henchman's 14-year-old son. The teen was going over to his father's office in New York City for his internship when G-Unit member Tony Yayo and an entourage approached him, slapped him, which proved to be consequential for Yayo, who only had to complete 10 days of community service. Fletcher confessed to playing a major role in the teen's assault and received a sentence of 2 years. Jimmy Henchmen told the News that he never ordered a hit on Lowell Fletcher, and in 2016, his conviction was overturned because of misconduct on the judge's part, so a retrial occurred. But ultimately, it was reported that Jimmy Henchmen was handed a double life sentence for Fletcher's orchestrated death, and the situation was further complicated by the rift between 50 Cent's G-Unit crew and Henchman's client, rapper The Game, in multiple shootings in New York City. 50 Cent's beef with music industry manager Jimmy Henchmen also involved his client, Compton, California rapper The Game, who originally was an upcoming artist signed to 50 Cent's label G-Unit. They've even had hit songs together. It seemed like it was all good until the Game refused to get involved in 50's frequent beefs with other rappers. 50 Cent took the Game's apprehension as him not being loyal, and pretty soon the feud turned violent. In February of 2005, 50's crew and the Game's entourage fought outside of Hot 97's radio station in New York, which also involved gunshots ringing out. One of the Game's associates was shot in the leg, but was able to recover, and the following month, Minister Louis Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam sent up a peaceful meeting in order to prevent further violence and to get 50 Cent and the Game to reconcile. In the moment, both men agreed to a truce, but it didn't create a trusting friendship in the long run. 50 Cent has gone to war with East Coast rappers like Ja Rule, Fat Joe, and Nas, just like he's gone after West Coast rappers like The Game. That doesn't mean that the South was safe from his trolling. When the beef jumped off between 50 Cent and Miami rapper Rick Ross, Ross claimed that it all started after 50 looked at Ross, quote, the wrong way at the 2008 BET Hip Hop Awards, leading to Ross dissing 50 Cent on the 2009 song Mafia Music. 50 Cent made it known that he was now out to ruin Rick Ross's career, quote, for the fun of it. When photos and documents surfaced online that revealed that Rick Ross had been a Florida corrections officer, raising questions as to the accuracy of Ross's history as a street guy and dealer, 50 Cent went on a rampage, creating several cartoons of a Rick Ross-inspired character called Officer Ricky that were featured on 50 Cent's website, thisis50.com. Even though Rick Ross later admitted that he did in fact work as a correctional officer in the past, he jumped into the conflict, giving 50 the name Curly. In 2009, 50 Cent created a fictional comedic series involving the adventures of his pimp character named Pimpin' Curly to go after Rick Ross. Things got much more intense when 50 Cent allegedly released a 13-minute X-rated tape in 2009 that featured Lastonia Leviston, the mother of Rick Ross's daughter, engaging in acts with another man. In order to further upset Rick Ross, 50 narrated the tape in the voice of his Pimpin' Curly character. This led to her hitting 50 with an invasion of privacy lawsuit and winning a $5 million judgment. She claimed that 50 caused her emotional stress on purpose by leaking the video, which at the time racked up millions of views. DJs and producers were also able to catch the fury of 50 Cent, even if they didn't start it with 50. During the late 2010s, 50 went so far in his beef with Rick Ross that he even started coming at Ross's collaborator DJ Khaled. In February of 2009, 50 posted a video clip of him supposedly spying on Khaled's mother's house, just to torment Khaled for being a Rick Ross associate. Then in the music video for the diss track A Psychic Told Me, 50 Cent threatened both Khaled and Khaled's mother with numerous aggressive scenes, which 50 told radio personality Miss Info was a response to Rick Ross's website thisiscurly.com. That featured 50 Cent's son, head photoshopped on the body of a monkey. It didn't take long for A Psychic Told Me to get deleted from 50 Cent's online blog, but it would take many years for 50 and Khaled to finally put an end to their issues. 50 Cent's huge feud with Ja Rule spilled over into 50 having beef with other rappers that did songs with Ja Rule. In fact, when the respected Bronx rapper Fat Joe appeared on Ja Rule's 2004 song New York, 50 Cent aimed his anger at Joe with his 2005 single Piggy Bank. Fat Joe smacked 50 right back with the diss track My Fofo. Things got more uncontrollable at the 2005 MTV VMAs when Fat Joe started making fun of 50 by saying he probably attended the event with tons of police for security. Later, during 50 Cent's set, he responded by calling Joe a pussy, and it would take 7 years for 50 and Joe to finally settle their issues, which occurred at the 2012 BET Hip Hop Awards in honor of the late music executive Chris Lighty, who happened to have managed both 50 and Fat Joe at different points during their career. During the mid-2000s, Lil Wayne was becoming the biggest rapper, but 50 couldn't care less, calling Lil Wayne a, quote, whore, censor that, during an interview because of his large number of guest features on songs, and even questioning the fact that Lil Wayne wound up on MTV's Hottest MC list in 2008. On the song Part-Time Lover, 50 Cent got even more blatant with his disrespect, with lines like, quote, you want to make me kiss you, baby kiss Wayne, and make you call me daddy like baby Dwayne. Damn, that stuff sounds gay. It's insane. I guess that's the price that little dudes pay for fame. Lil Wayne fired shots right back on the song Louisianimal. Quote, all about $1, F2 quarters. Oh, I'll pour syrup in that vitamin water. I hope you die ugly and tonight'll be gorgeous. Feed me your organs. Oh, I'm starving. 50 took the beef even further with a whole host of tracks with Lil Wayne jabs like Play This on the Radio, Officer Ricky, and Love, Hate, Love. But in all fairness, when Lil Wayne was reported to have had a seizure in 2012, 50 Cent put the dissing on pause and even wished him well. 50 Cent hasn't just had beef with men. There have been ongoing back and forths that he's been caught up in with women as well. One of these female trolling victims was his ex-girlfriend, then Hollywood actress Vivica Fox, whom he dated back in 2003. After the couple broke up, the two engaged in a war of words off and on for several years. Even over a decade later, in November of 2015, during an episode of Bravo's Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, Vivica Fox implied that 50 was gay. In true 50 Cent fashion, the rapper went on the same show and claimed that Vivica licked his behind. This caused instant reactions of shock from the show's host, Andy Dick himself, fellow guest, Leah Remini, and the audience. Vivica later denied these accusations and simply called 50 a, quote, queen. When media personality Wendy Williams told 50 Cent to get his life together after he was posting a fake party flyer online to celebrate not having to pay child support anymore, 50 clapped back by calling the television host a, quote, ugly mother effer, and saying that her husband should get himself a side chick just for dealing with her. Then 50 Cent uploaded two comparison pictures of Wendy side by side with a man in a lion mask. 50 then posted a video in August 2019 that appeared to show Wendy Williams not being able to get into his pool party, which she ended up getting escorted into towards the section that Snoop Dogg was in. Wendy Williams claims to have had no idea that 50 Cent didn't want her there. After paying 50 Cent some compliments during an interview with Andy Cohen, 50 seemed to reconcile with her via Instagram by referencing her interview and responded by saying, "Okay, we're gonna let you in Tycoon next time, but you can't just be coming to my parties with no invite." 50 Cent's Instagram page became super controversial when he got into a problem with singer, songwriter, turned reality star Tiara Mowry, who was once signed by Jay-Z to Def Jam. In May of 2018, explicit photos of Tiara popped up on her Instagram page after her ex-lover hacked her account and made the compromising images public. 50 inserted himself into the situation and took it upon himself to share the explicit pictures on his own IG page and added his own brand of comments to the post. Tiara was so upset by the situation that she hit 50 Cent with a revenge Corn lawsuit. But in January of 2019, a judge dismissed her claims and ordered her to pay 50 Cent $30,000 in damages, leading to Tiara and 50 to continue to throw dirt on each other's names on social media. Last but certainly not least, 50 Cent actually managed to have a public feud with none other than billionaire media mogul Oprah Winfrey. This first seemed to be a strange conflict because in his early days as a rapper, he dreamed of being a guest on her long-lasting daytime talk show that his own grandmother was a big fan of. 50 Cent also had a dog named Oprah in her honor, but once Oprah Winfrey made it known that she didn't really approve of his lyrics, which was why he wasn't invited onto her show, Oprah became the next A-list adversary on his list. But with the help of Oprah Winfrey's close friend Gayle King, 50 was able to appear on Oprah's next chapter in 2012 to discuss their feud, which included his 2006 claim to the Associated Press via Fox News that Winfrey, quote, caters to older white women. They were able to patch things up during the interview, but years later, 50 Cent took to Instagram and reopened his Oprah issues all over again. 50 Cent accused of Oprah of only, quote, going after black men such as Russell Simmons and R. Kelly during the hashtag #MeToo movement, and ignoring white men who have also been accused of abuses, such as Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein. And that's just some of the beefs that we were able to gather of 50 Cent. There will likely be a lot more in the future, as it's one of his favorite methods of marketing and it has worked pretty much flawlessly. We've never really seen 50 Cent take a massive L or not be able to turn an L into a W, and that's just what makes him one of the most entertaining characters in hip-hop history. Make sure to subscribe for more.